Hi, this is Jamie Leuenberger here with the third vlog for Enchantress, aka Tess. May was a very busy month for us attending Tess's first shows. Here are a few clips from her first schooling dressage show. She could not have been better. She went around like she had been doing it her whole life and did the best test she was capable of for her current level of training. We ended up high score in both of our classes with a 72 and a 75% in training 2 and 3 respectively. As you can see, she has some inconsistency in the connection and with her balance, but I only expect that to get better with time. And for her first real under-saddle outing, I could not have been happier with her. We really accomplished the goals of getting out and testing the waters and seeing how she would be in a show environment. And she really proved that she was ready to tackle more and will be a real star in the future. After her success here, I signed her up for her first recognized dressage show, where we would also do training 2 and training 3. And this show was a great opportunity to show us what we needed to work on in order to improve our scores in the future. A few weeks later, we did our first recognized dressage show. Shown here is our training level test 3. You will notice that in just a few short weeks, the consistency in the connection and the balance has improved significantly. She was absolutely foot perfect for the entire show, even though this was by far the biggest show she had been to yet, with a completely unfamiliar facility and arenas. And there were 4 show rings running at the same time, and the warm-up was very large and very busy. She scored a 68% and a 65% with a silly rider error, because I could never remember all of my tests in one weekend. The biggest thing that we have to work on is to build the strength over her top line in order to carry more up and out to the bit, because she has the tendency to get just a little bit short in her neck. Overall, I was incredibly pleased with her consistency and how she handled the big environment. Even though her second test was at the very end of the last day of the show, and everybody else was packing up to leave the showgrounds, and there were lots of horses calling and lots of distractions. She did a really great job to stay focused and stay with me the entire time. I have no doubt that she'll be ready to take on some show jumping in the future. Now, you might notice that we have been pretty focused on our dressage. Because she started out as a fairly timid jumper, I wanted to make sure that we tackled the show environment without potentially giving her a bad experience over fences first. So now that she has been very confident in a show environment, I feel really good about moving forward into some shows over fences. That isn't to say that we haven't been plugging away at the jumping. We've been slowly building confidence over fences as well. And as she's gone from timid to almost overconfident, she's gotten rather keen to the fences. So I've been quite focused on adjustability and technique. She's a very scopy jumper with a rather extravagant hind end action at times. Sometimes this leads her to twist a bit over the fences, especially with her hind end. In order to help her learn to stay straighter in her body in the air, I have been working a lot over tall cross rails and using gymnastics and placing rails to encourage a tidy front end, even from a deep distance. And I know that taking my time and making sure that we really have the flat work completely nailed down is only going to pay off in the long run and make the jumping so much easier for her. The idea is that I set her up for her entire future and her entire career. So I'm not too worried about being a little bit slower than some might be in getting her out over fences. If she's confident and understands how to use her body correctly and has confidence in me as the rider, then the height of the fence won't matter once we finally get out showing. Here we're coming to the end of this dressage test, and then I'm going to show you some clips of her schooling over fences at home. These clips were taken at the very end of May. Hopefully you can see the improvement in the balance between fences and in her confidence and technique. I've been lucky in that she has always offered me a nice clean flying change in between fences, so I've been trying to use that to my advantage and make sure that I keep that as we progress. You can see also that she does get a little bit more keen as the fences get a little bit bigger, but that will probably work to our advantage in the future, especially cross country. At this point, I was very excited to start her eventing career and had planned a first proper cross-country schooling and was looking at potential first horse trial opportunities. But it wasn't to be. June has not been my month. On the 2nd, I had an unlucky fall off another young horse and landed on my feet in just the wrong way, breaking my tibia and fibula, requiring surgical repair. Tess had the first 2 weeks of June off while I was figuring out how to keep my horses going while I was out. I am very lucky that Lizzie Knight agreed to ride her for me and keep her going until I can get back in the saddle. They're shown here in about their 5th ride together. I'm not sure if I'll be back in time to get Tess ready for the championships, but I'm optimistic that we still have a shot. I'll just let her tell me if she's going to be ready despite this setback. If she isn't quite there, then we'll just aim for the FEH championships instead. The most important thing is setting her up for her entire future career. Here's the last trip through the gymnastic for Tess and Lizzie's first jump school together. Thank you guys for following along with our journey, and I hope to still see you guys at the championships.